If you're looking to start your own gardening business or maintenance business, grab a pen and paper, stick around because you're going to want to watch this. Hey guys, hope you're all okay. I thought I'd do something a little bit different, and I'm getting a lot of people asking for advice, for hints, tips, tricks regarding how to start a maintenance business, more specifically a gardening business. So what I thought I'd do a little run round and give some help and some advice on people who are watching this who need the help. If you're currently stuck in a 9 to 5 job and you want your own gardening business, your own maintenance business, and you're not quite sure how to do it, or if you're just playing with ideas on how you could actually do it, how you could actually build up your own business, then I'm going to try and help you the best way I can. Because I've recently just done this. So Notting Nail Maintenance is my new maintenance business. Specifically gardening, that's the kind of main job that I do. But I also do gutter cleaning, roof scraping, and also pressure washing. But gardening and gutter cleaning are the main services that I provide. So grab a pen and paper, and we're going to go through exactly what to do. So the main thing is, from my own personal experience, I was in a 9 to 5 job. And this isn't something that I planned on doing initially. I was quite happy being employed. But then they announced redundancies. And at the time, even though it was quite difficult because I ended up losing a day a week, in hindsight, that actually helped me because it gave me time. It gave me an opportunity to start up again. So long story short, I worked for myself. 10 years ago, I had my own gardening business, but that was strictly just gardening. And now I've kind of come back into it. So what happened was, when I lost a day a week, I had that time to really think about what I wanted to do. I knew that I had to make up the money that I lost. I'll be completely honest with you, I lost £400 a month. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money, but it is to me. And, that is the mortgage payment, the car payment, your gas and electric, your food bill. It's a lot of money. So we're going to go through what I did, and hopefully this can help you guys on how to do it for yourself. So step one, grab yourself a pen and paper and get yourself a drink, because now is going to be a great time to just think about what you're going to do, get a plan together, and use this time to think about what you're good at, what services you want to offer. Because gardening, I'm going to use gardening and gutter cleaning as the main examples because that's just what I know. And gardening in itself, you can have so many different specialities. You can just be the guy who goes and cuts the grass. Mow, blow and go, they call it. That could be your business. You could be just specialise in hedge cutting, in topiary. You could do lawn care. You could do tree surgery. You could do a mixture of all them. You could do general garden maintenance, estate maintenance. You could be a specialist in rose pruning. There really is a call for it. And I just want to emphasise the fact that there's a lot of work out there. I was quite concerned. I was worried that I was going to get enough work to fill my diary. And to be honest, I've been inundated already to the point where I'm a little bit stressed, to be honest, because there's that much work coming in and I can't physically do it all. But because I'm so new into it again, I hate to say no. I don't want to turn work away. So the thing is, really hone in on what you want to do. You've got to find something that you actually enjoy doing. There's no point doing something or offering a service that you don't even like or don't enjoy. Gardening is difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. You've got to be realistic. So, for example, I started officially full-time on the 1st of June. In that first week, I had torrential rain for 3 days. And on the fourth day, we had a hailstorm, and I mean proper hailstorm in June. It's unheard of. And then the week after, we had 35, 36, up to 37 degree heat wave. It was so difficult because I wasn't physically used to working on the tools, hands-on grafting again. I've been in a comfortable office for 3 years. The physical side, I'm still getting used to it now. And then since then, we're in the middle of July, we've had 3 heat waves, no rain, and the grass is almost white. It is that dry. So you've got to think about this, guys, because if you just wanted to cut grass, like summer now really is the main time that all the gardeners make their money. But if we're not having rain for a couple of months and we're having really serious heat waves, there's no grass to cut. So for me personally, I just do like a general garden maintenance. So I will do hedge cutting, I will do weeding, I will do weed treatments, grass cutting, soft landscaping. I will do it all really, because I think you've got to have a little bit of diversity. Generally, people just want to make one phone call and you're the guy. They said, can you just look after my garden? Yeah, no problem. So have a think about that. So that's your first step, is think about what you want to actually offer, what you're good at, and what you want to do. So put that in your notepad. That's step 1. Step 2, and this is something I'm still getting used to, okay? When I first set up in 2017, this wasn't on the table, but now it is. And it's going to be your best thing you ever do for your business, in my opinion. And that is to download ChatGPT. Use AI to your advantage now. The world's a different place. And I said in a recent video, if you haven't seen that, if you a bit of a dinosaur to tech like I am, you've got to use every effort now to get in with technology. Use AI and learn how to use AI. Because if you don't, someone will overtake you. It's that simple. If you just rely on word of mouth, if you just rely on old-fashioned leaflet drops, you're going to get left behind, because AI is taking over. So, for example, if you don't know anything about AI, the only way I can describe it to you is AI is going to become your personal assistant in your business. So AI can do anything from your sales and marketing. It can write your Facebook posts for you. It can do your thumbnails on YouTube. It can write you scripts for YouTube. It can do all the finance side. It can help you with your taxes. It can help you give a forecast in your business. You put in your details, say I've forecasted X amount over the next few months. Show me the numbers. You can put in your costs on how much your van costs, what fuel costs, what material costs, and it'll act as your bookkeeper. So it'll do your accounts to a point. Obviously, always have an accountant. Don't use ChatGPT as your official accountant, but it will do 90% of the work. It will do your sales marketing. I used it to build my website. So again, I keep referring to what it was like back in the day because it was different. But I paid a web developer, I think it's like £500 for a website. I built my own website for free. All because of ChatGPT walked me through it. It recommended which kind of website build to use, and I went with Square. It told me how to do it, where to use images. It wrote all my text for my website. And bear in mind, it hasn't just wrote text willy-nilly. Everything is optimized for search engine optimization, SEO. It knows all the keywords instantly. It is just a phenomenally powerful tool. So really learn how to use it, guys, and have different chats on there as well. One for business, one for advertisement, one for help and tips. It even helped me on what gardeners were charging generally, because it can scour the internet. So it looks at all reviews, it looks at all forums, other websites where gardeners and companies give their prices. It knows it instantly. So it's great for market research. Okay, so now that is step 2, and that is a big one now. That's a big one. Step 3 is you're going to start planning your business. You're going to think, what name are you going to use? So you can go down two paths, in my opinion. You can either go a standard name where you've got Nathan's maintenance services, Nathan's grass cutting services. You get a lot of people using their initials or their second name. And that's great. I just think sometimes, and this is no disrespect to anybody who has done that, but I think sometimes you can get lost. One of my first gardening businesses was like Millwood Maintenance, I think, before I changed it to Four Seasons, which it was. And I think if you go down the other route where you just have like a name, have a brand, it sets yourself aside a little bit, where you've got to think, you've got to be memorable. You want people to remember who you are. And Millwood Maintenance is a bit generic, but Not a Nail, I've already had a few customers say, oh, that's a nice name, and oh, I remember that. And it's just these little things. But also, one thing to remember when giving yourself a name, you've got to think of it from a search engine optimization point. So, for example, I live in Staffordshire. So you could, and I think somebody already has, but you could have Staffordshire Garden Services, Staffordshire Maintenance Services. And I think that's clever. So whichever area of the country you're in, you could name yourself after that area. Because you think, if you go onto Google and, you know, I've got a leak or whatever, go plumbers in Staffordshire, or electricians in Staffordshire, gardeners in Staffordshire. If you can get that keyword in your name, then that will trickle down onto your website, your Facebook, all that kind of, you know, social media. So think of a good name. So now you've got ChatGPT as your personal assistant, you've got yourself a name, you've decided what services you're going to offer. So let's just say now you set up a business, Millwood Maintenance. And the first thing you're going to do, you need to get your business out there. So for me personally, one of the best things that I've done is Facebook. Facebook has been fantastic. And again, it wasn't like this years ago. Facebook always had this kind of reputation of getting cheap work, or work that isn't really worth your time. You'd see a lot of people almost bidding against stuff. You know, I'll come do your grass for this much. And someone will go, oh, I'll beat any price. I'm sure you get people that still say that. But it's not what it used to be. I honestly mean that. And the little niche inside Facebook is the community groups. That's where you want to target. So wherever you live, you think about the nice little villages around the outskirts or in your own town. Generally, they will have, like Staffordshire, they'll have Staffordshire Buy and Sell, or Staffordshire, I don't know, Services, Staffordshire Trades. That's what you want to go on. And a lot of the time it's free. Well, it is free. I've never known anyone pay. You get some groups who say pay £20 for unlimited posts, but generally it's free. And I think that is fantastic, a powerful tool. Okay, so the Facebook groups are fantastic. So utilize them, use them as much as possible, because the best things in life are free. The next thing you're going to do is get yourself a Google page listing, and that's on the Google Maps now. So you can go in there, type your address in, and you can add a business. And again, that is a very crucial part to getting your business out there. You've got to think about where, I think Google, I don't know the actual stats, but Google is still one of the most searched, or how can I put it, like areas that people use to search for businesses and local trades. So if you get your business on there, again, it's free, and then you can put pictures, all your different services, your contact details, your opening hours. It's almost like a virtual shop front for your business, but it's free. So do that as soon as possible, and then the algorithm starts working. And I would utilize really all other social media. I'm not very good at TikTok and Snapchat and all this kind of stuff, but I know a lot of businesses do use them. And it's one way to get your business out there. But Instagram is very good. Instagram is great for your gallery, I think. I don't really know of anyone who's actually got work from Instagram, but it's good to showcase your work. And then the kind of top bit is your website. So get your website, I don't think now there's no excuse for anybody. You've got ChatGPT. Use that to build you a website. Let it help you build a website for free. Okay. So then once you've got your website, you can link your website to your Facebook page, your Google listing, your Instagram as bare minimum. And then everything just kind of fits really nice. So everything all funnels through your website. People can see your Facebook for your day-to-day portfolio. Google listings a little bit more professional, I suppose, in my opinion. And then Instagram for your gallery. But it just shows that your business is established. You're not just a guy who's running around being a weekend warrior for a bit of cash. You've got a proper business. And what this boils down to, I think, what I'm trying to say is just start off how you mean to go on. You want to look professional. You want to turn up. You want to look professional. People know you've got a website. You're on Facebook. You know, you've got branded t-shirt, branded fan, whatever. Just look professional, because then you can charge more and people are going to take you more seriously and have a bit more respect for you. So now you've got yourself bedded in to the social media world. You've got yourself a website. You're on Google listing. And now I think different for another form of advertising. People say leaflet drops. And I'm going to throw a caveat into that because I've done leaflet drops. I've done drops, thousands at a time. And I think the success rate, someone did actually tell me it's like 0.1% or 1%. Either way, very low. So per 1,000 leaflets, you're probably going to get one call. So personally, just my opinion, I wouldn't waste your money on just posting thousands of leaflets through the door or having a company to do it. Because how I view it, I get leaflets through the post every day. I don't look at them. If I'm honest, I just class it as junk mail. I throw it in the bin. And that's your hard-earned money that you've paid for to get chucked in the bin. But if you want to do leaflet drops, the one way I would say that does work, it's more time-consuming, but I think you get a much higher return on your investment, is actually knocking on the door. So don't just post them, knock on. And if the potential customer comes to the door, give them a leaflet and just say, hello, my name's Nathan. I've recently just set up Millwood Maintenance. I'm offering garden services and gutter cleaning. Do you require any of these? So then you're showing yourself as a real person. You're showing yourself that you look professional. You're in the local area. And people respect that. I think that people like that a lot more than just a cold leaflet through the post. So if you want to try a leaflet drop-in, knock on the door and just see the person, speak to them, smile, be nice, be pleasant, and introduce yourself. Okay, so there you're starting to get traction. So while this is all going on, you're going to start getting tools. And it's an important thing, tools. I hear a lot of mixed opinions, and it's really down to your circumstances. Some people say buy cheap, you buy twice, and that's very true. But I get it. When you are starting out, you can't always buy the Stihl or the Husqvarna or the top of the range battery powered stuff. You can't. It's expensive. But what I would say is, me personally, everything I've bought. Sorry, just sort of. Everything I've bought has been the best I can get, but second hand. So my strimmer, my hedge cutter is all Stihl. I've got a Honda mower and I've got an Alco mower, which with a Honda engine. So I would just say buy the best you can get, probably the second hand market. So maybe from a machinery dealer, because it's been serviced, it's been looked after. It's nice if you can buy all brand new stuff, great, go for it. Just try and buy the best you can get at the time, because very back in the day when I first started, I had all crap stuff and it was rubbish. It was like an old Mount Field mower that, don't get me wrong, the good mowers, but the one I had wasn't. And I had like a Bobby No Name strimmer. And again, they just break. They're not made for commercial work. They're not made for using on gardens all day, every day. So just try and buy the best things that you can do. So now, whatever you're doing, if you're working at the back of a car, if you've got a car and a trailer, if you've got an estate, if you're lucky enough to have a van, I will go down the route of trying to get some sort of branded t-shirts, maybe some magnetic signs on your van, something like this. I'm all about just trying to look professional, trying to look like you take pride in your job, because I think I've seen it time and time again, people who go into the gardening and they, again, I don't want to be mean, but they just don't look professional. You know, they're rocking up in joggers and trainers, and they're not using good material, like good equipment, and you tend to find that you get a certain clientele. But if you look professional and offer a professional service, you're going to get that kind of top tier customers, in my opinion. I'll probably get some backlash for this, but I think if you look the part, you're going to get the nice work, the good customers. So that's just my opinion on that. So now you've got your business forming. You've got an online presence. Okay, so now you're looking the part. You've got your tools, you've got your transport, you've got your online presence, and you're out in the local neighbourhood, knocking on doors, introducing yourself. So let's talk pricing. And pricing is always a funny thing. It can be quite difficult, and it's always been an age-old conversation between all trades, really, especially gardeners, because I think out of any other trade, they're the ones that can charge per hour much more than any other trade. I would always advise charging per visit or per job, but I get it. I do have a few jobs where I charge per hour because that's just what the customer wants. And if you're in a job where they have 4, 5, 6 acres plus, it's very hard to put a price on that unless you've got a massive team. When it's just you on your own, the customer might just say, can you give me half a day a week? Can you give me a day a week? Can you give me 2 hours a fortnight? Whatever it is. And that's up to you. If you want to do it, then go for it. But if you don't, I've been in a situation where I have tried to give a price per job on the bigger properties, and I've kind of come unstuck, really, because again, you can't, in my opinion, you can't just rock up to a job and let's say you're charging £100 per visit. You can't just go there and spend half an hour. You won't last 5 minutes. But if you're kind of doing an hourly rate, you've always got something to fall back on. So for what I mean is, say they've got a huge border and they want the border weeding, they want shrub shaping, they want pruning. It's very difficult to put a price on that border. If you say, yeah, I can do that, it'll be £200. They go, okay, that's fine. But then that takes you 3 days. You've lost, haven't you? But if you say, yeah, and I do an hourly rate because then we know where we are. And they say, yeah, that's fine. So either way, if you spend 2 hours on it, you've got your hourly rate. And they say, oh, could you do the rest? So yeah, you're probably going to need another 2 hours, another 4 hours, whatever. And you're always covered. You're always covered yourself because you're never out of pocket. Whereas if you underprice on a price job, then it can happen. Unless you put a very good price in and you get it done, you work like an absolutely madman and get it all done in an hour, great. All the power to you. But never undersell yourself if you are doing. I know there's still gardeners out there who charge £20 an hour. Don't do it. Don't fall into that trap. I don't think anyone should be charging less than £30 an hour now. And you've got to look at it. You're not working for your wage. You're working for your business costs. So your van payment, your fuel, your insurances, tools, all your business costs. So £30 an hour is an absolute minimum, really. But what I would say is if they want you to cut the grass or cut a hedge, then that's always price work. You don't ever do that on hourly rate because, for one, neither of them take you an actual hour or 2 hours to do. So charge per job on lawn cutting, hedge cutting. Say like a weed treatment, I charge one in the week £60 for a weed treatment. I sprayed the drive, sprayed the patio. It took me 10 minutes, £60. It's really good. But if I charge, say, £30 an hour, I can say, yeah, I'll come and weed your patio, I'll weed your drive. It's £30 an hour. You'd have to spend 2 hours there weeding by hand for the same what you could have got in 10 minutes. So it comes with experience. It comes with knowing how to price up in your head, I think. So that's one thing. But what I would say is just work out your costs. So sit down, pen and paper, write down how much is your van payment, how much fuel are you using per week, how much is your insurance. And that's one step I should have said at the start. Get yourself public liability insurance. Don't do any work without public liability insurance. It's so important. Hopefully you never have to use it, but when you need it, it's there to cover you. So put that as step one. So work out how much, and you also need money aside for tools. Your tools will break. They will break down. They will die. You'll have to replace your lawnmower, your strimmer, your hedge cutter, your chainsaw. As gardeners, we need so much equipment, and it's very expensive. So if you're not charging right, you won't last 5 minutes. The age-old story where somebody rings you up saying, "Oh, can you come give me a price, cut your grass?" It's like, "Yeah, it's fine. It was £30. Oh, my last garden, he only used to charge me £10. I say, "Oh, well, where is he?" He goes, "Oh, he went bust." Hello. So I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm mumbling a little bit, but you've got to know your price and don't be afraid to price right, charge fairly, and do a good job. That is what it all comes down to. And I think, it's all about how you put yourself across. You look professional, you've got a good online presence, you've got decent tools, you look the part, and you charge for that. And people are happy to pay it. At the end of the day, you've got to remember you are on their personal property. You are in their garden where you could be around their family, their kids. Your kids could be playing the garden and you're working away. Or they're doing the school runs. And at the end of the day, you're around that family. So they don't want just anybody in their garden. And people will pay for it. They will. But just remember, and it's dead important because I want to get the point over that there's a lot of work out there. So don't be afraid to charge fairly because somebody will pay top dollar for the right person, the right gardener, if they like you, if they want you. Whereas someone else down the road, they might say, "Oh, you're too expensive." Good, that's fine. It's okay to be expensive. If you're winning all the jobs, that's probably telling you that you're too cheap. So I would always err on the higher side. And bear in mind as well, if you charge low when you're starting off, it's very hard then to up your prices. So you take somebody on for £20 an hour and you're thinking, "Oh crap, I need to be 30 on this." The customer could probably say, "I can't afford 30. But if you went in initially, "I'm £30 an hour," "Oh yeah, okay." Or they say, "No, I can't afford it," and you go on to somebody else who can pay £30 an hour. So get your pricing right straight away. Work out all your costs, work out how much it costs you to get up and go to work per hour, however much that may be. Let's say £10 an hour, £5 an hour, whatever. You need to be making a profit. Think about how much you want to pay yourself and pay yourself a good, decent wage. You got to make it worth yourself. You're out there in the scorching sun or the torrential rain. A few months' time, it's going to be freezing. It's hard work. So make sure you pay yourself well. Make sure it's worth it. I think there you've got a very good basis on what to go for. Utilize ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity or any of them AI chatbots. Use it because they are fantastic. Get your name sorted, get your online presence sorted, get your tools. and go from there really. And I'll be really interested to see how you guys are doing it and have done it. I'd also appreciate some feedback on this, on if you found this interesting, because I'm not doing it off a script. I'm not doing it, even though I could have asked ChatGPT to write me a script for this, but I didn't. So I'm just kind of off the cuff talking because I think it's good. I wanted a video like this when I started. There was a couple, but they weren't that helpful just for me personally. So I thought, I'm going to do that. Once I get settled, I'm going to do my own video. Okay, so now we've followed them first steps. We are ready to actually do the work. So I just want to use my example on how I started my business because I think it works very well. It was a negative at the start because I lost hours at work and I was facing redundancy. But that day a week gave me enough time to build up a few customers, to make some extra money on the side almost, to enable me to buy my tools I needed. I just want you to be careful because there's so many influencers on YouTube that tell you to quit your job and pursue your dream. But to be honest, I don't think that's realistic. There might be a few stories out there that have worked and people have made it happen, then great, fantastic. But in the real world, just be very careful. Don't just quit your job without a proper plan and without anything in place, because the world we live in, the kind of economy that we live in is very difficult, and you just got to look after yourself and look after your family and make sure that everything is a calculated risk. So on my day, from January to June, I used that day to build up. So I would take on gardening jobs. I would take on more gutter cleaning really, because for an hourly rate, they would always pay more. And what I mean by an hourly rate, I don't mean I was charging by the hour. I mean what you can actually earn in a given set of time. So I would always be careful with that. Do what's best for you. Use your evenings, use your weekends, maybe even book a couple of weeks off holiday and just get a feel for it. You never know, you might actually do it and think, I can't do this. I can't hack it. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. So just be careful. Make sure it's the right thing for you. So now we go on to our first job. And at this point now, you look professional. You've got your tools. The customer's found you either by recommendation, leaflet drops, or online presence. And what I would always do is every job you do, doesn't matter if you're cutting the grass, cutting a hedge, gutter cleaning, jet washing, anything you do, when the job is completed, always ask the customer for a review on Facebook, on Google. And I think that is paramount to building your business. When people go online and they search for your business, or if your business comes up when they type in garden maintenance or gutter cleaning, whatever it is, your business comes up and you have 5-star reviews from customers, that just instills confidence. So bear in mind as well, before you set up, try and start off as your means to go on. So record everything straight away. So bookkeeping wise, all your ins and all your outs, all your finances, record them, write them down, keep a record of all the money coming in and all the money going out. Make sure you register with HMRC, being self-employed, or even a limited business if that's your chosen route. And what else? I think that's everything. We're there. Insurance. Make sure you have a good public liability insurance. Make sure you've got the right amount of cover, and be honest as well with what you're doing. For example, I know with garden maintenance you can have X tree work or including tree work. So if you want to do tree work, then make sure your insurance covers you for tree work. And if you do landscaping, make sure your insurance covers you for below ground works. If you're digging down a certain depth, you have to let them know. If you go through a pipe or a mains or an electrical cable, it's going to be very expensive to fix. If you drop a tree on someone's house or car, it's going to be very expensive to fix. So make sure your insurances cover you. So just do things right from the very get-go. And I think that will really benefit you every step of the way, really. But I think that is, without going on too long, I think that is kind of covering the basics. I'm sure I've missed something. If I have, please, I want to start this as a bit of a discussion as well. Go into the comments, let me know what you think of what I've said, if you agree with it, if you don't agree with it. What works for one might not work for the other, and vice versa. But I think if you enjoy it and it's something you want to do, and you do it right, I think you'll make a success of it. And there's a lot of work out there. A lot of people are looking for gardeners and looking for tradespeople. So all the best to you. And I hope this has helped somebody. I really do. So please feel free and let me know your thoughts. And I'll end it there. So I'll see you in the next one.